Well, time for another silver update, and this is brought to you by the only silver channel that will tell you how to rip out an ignition lock out of an automobile with a dent puller. For these upcoming Mad Max days, who the hell knows, right? Could be some good skills in those. But anyway, coming up this week, there's going to be a number of things that are actually going to really drive the markets one way or the other. There's a lot of different things coming up this week, and I'm going to get into them. But first, let's talk a little bit about Ben Bernanke. He's going to be trying something new that the Federal Reserve never did, and that is basically try to push people into corporate bonds versus treasuries. Who the hell knows what that's going to do eventually, but what it's going to do in the short term is to drive down borrowing rates for corporations, drive down interest rates for corporate bonds. So it's actually uncharted territory for the U.S. Federal Reserve. And, you know, he's kind of like staving off a little bit on QE here and there, but he's always hinting that he might be doing it. That's why the markets are going up. But, you know, I have to say that no matter if he does it and doesn't do it, he's still doing it in one way or the other because that's really what's driving these markets right now. And if you look at silver, 2 damn good weeks, you know. And this upcoming week is actually going to be pretty tricky because this can drive the markets up or down, and it could be like a seesaw effect for the week. But I think overall we're going to see a lot of upward movement, and this is actually what's going to happen. On Monday, tomorrow, Labor Day in the United States, we're going to start getting in some PMI numbers, primary manufacturing index numbers, from other parts of the globe. We won't get anything on the United States tomorrow because it's Labor Day, but we'll see hints of what's coming in, whether it's going up or down. So if it's going up, if the manufacturing is looking better for August, you can think that Ben Bernanke is going to put off doing QE further. So, you know, initially that might drive the markets up. Then it might drive it down because of a decision that Ben Bernanke makes. There's a lot of what-if situations, so I have to point out what the key factors are that are making the markets move one way or the other, and what you could possibly do. Now, on Tuesday, also the U.S. ISM, the Institute for Supply Management and Construction Spending number is going to come out. I don't think they're going to be good, but really nobody knows. I don't think their construction spending's up, and you know, I also think a lot of the numbers are rigged. You know, they're basically massaged, and just to make things look good. And Mark Farber's pointing this out too. That's why, you know, reality's going to catch up with this stuff eventually. And you know, I got to mention Mark Farber again because he's the guy I respect the most. But early, let's say first quarter, second quarter of 2013, that's when he's expecting more of a downturn in the economy. And what does that mean for silver and gold? I guess in the case, especially with silver, it's probably going to pull it back. So maybe we're going to see a big rise in the metals this year, 2012. And if we get up to some record highs, you know, and there's other expectations of the economy really shrinking in early 2013, it behooves you to sell some because, you know, when it usually gets up to record highs, 50, 60, 70, it has another pullback. Don't mean it's going down to 26. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it's a bad investment. The overall trend is up, but there might be a way to judge which way the markets are going. Then on this Thursday coming up, the ECB, you know, the European Central Bank chief, Mario Draghi, will be giving a press conference. And basically he's like the European equivalent of Ben Bernanke, so he's probably going to say things to pump up the economy. I'd imagine that's going to help the markets. Then also on Thursday, there's going to be initial jobless claims coming out. They may be lower. I don't know. I would think they might be lower because there's probably, you're talking initial jobless claims, but you know, probably the overall employment rate is probably going up more and more and more, you know, because employed people in the United States as a whole of the workforce is actually going down. But initial jobless claims, that might be a good number. Then on Friday out comes the jobs report. So anybody's guess what happens on jobs reports. And that's going to affect the markets too. See, this week is actually there's going to be a lot of different things coming out to affect the markets. I mean, so it might be a lot of a seesaw effect. Now, as far as what Ben Bernanke's doing, he's trying to do something a little bit different, and he's trying to push people into corporate bonds more and more, which is going to lower their rates. So I don't know. It's like it's a new territory. Japan's been experimenting with that, but it really hasn't been working out that well either. So, but I always put it down to this thing, the common sense thing. Really, numbers don't drive the economy. People and real production drive the economy. So sometimes when we talk about these numbers and all this garbage, we actually have to look at something else. Because despite what the numbers say, it's real productivity that drives the economy. It's like numbers quantify that real productivity and supposedly give us a good picture. But since there's so much massaging of numbers that come out of the government and different things because people want to see things a certain way, that you really can't trust it. So if people want to improve the economy, I'm going to just say this. Work harder, work smarter. And it sounds like kind of stupid cliche thing, but basically that's what it comes down to. And I think in the future, probably what the United States is going to go back to more is the entrepreneur, more or less the skilled trade. More people doing instead of bureaucratic work, maybe construction work, electrical work, plumbing work. How to install roofing and different things like that, how to fix mechanical things, and going back to more the skills that actually built a nation. And if you really look around things that really count the most, what do you really use in your daily life? It's not your gee whiz electronic gadgets as much as you think. A lot of people are mesmerized by that garbage, but it's real hands-on things. So actually with these silver videos, I'm going to actually interject some more. And silver's a real commodity. See, I'm into silver because, physical silver is real. I don't like electronic money as much. I know it still works. I mean, I don't have total misfaith in it or anything, but let me put it this way. I'm basically somebody that likes tangible, real things. So I'm going to probably still interject into these videos these other things, other topics, how to do things on your own and that type of stuff, and a little bit more of the redneck territory, if you want to call it that. But it's good to be self-sufficient and not to be able to I have to call somebody to fix something. You're just like a little girl that just can't do anything on your own. Because basically a lot of these people that work in offices, like the banksters and stuff like that in New York City, they're totally helpless. I mean, they might know everything there is about ripping people off, but they're totally helpless if they're put them out on their own. So you'd have a one-up on them big time if you're listening to my channel, because I'm going to actually put out some more practical things out there. So I have a few things out there right now, but I'm going to be continuing to do these type of things because the whole motto is get real. And guess what? Silver is getting real with your money. And, we're just going to have to play a waiting game. But I think actually knowing things on your own does make a major difference in how much your net worth is. Because the equation is, it's not just how much money you have coming in, it's also how much money you have going out. A lot of people get juiced every time they have to call people up to do electrical work or whatever it is. If you know how to do it on your own, that's that much money you didn't outlay. So I'm going to keep interjecting videos like this in this because, like I said, the whole thing is get real. Get real. Silver's real. Silver's a real financial asset, and physical silver's the best way to go. So, so I'm going to keep that across the board philosophy with everything there is.